the
Yeah,
water.
it was a field study, which I was asking for that.
So this seems like a psychology?
Sociology.
Sociology, okay.
And then Nick was a biology major, film minor, Brooklyn.
Did you PS come?
It was there when I left.
Did you get?
I didn't bring it in. I was gonna bring it.
Oh, the film business. I thought you said.
He has a, film.
Over existence.
There's a box and then this was like a big triangle box. Or something like that.
And he was out in South.
Oh, I know what that is. That's
But
my box.
he got very lucky. His professor,
Well, they wanted
professor, you can only get a minor or she's a well-known filmmaker. She's actually one of the few female academics for the Oscars.
So where's your town?
West Virginia.
Oh, West Virginia. Oh, really?
So that she's more of a film, English production company up here. And it's been, he's been getting a lot of good experience.
Yeah, you gotta do the mining with the computer.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He knew how to do the computer.
Oh,
If it
yeah.
wasn't for him,
Yeah, you drive 4.5 hours.
he's
Yeah.
a financial guy, and another friend of mine, financial guy, they didn't know anything about it.
Now you got a great education.
But, on a $4,000 investment, I could have had $80,000 in November
Yeah.
of 2018. And me and my buddy saying, oh, it's going, it's going, and he's saying, take your initial investment.
Get it out.
But I doubled my money. When I did January. He even talked about cryptocurrency.
Pardon me?
He even talked about the crypto market.
Oh, the crypto market, yeah, exactly.
That's the smoke and mirrors part.
Yeah, just like mirrors.
That helps the pace by going too fast. If you want me to stop at any particular section, just let me know. I will.
Yeah, Volkswagen was a little overpriced, I think, for that.
Yeah, it should have been 1,900.
It should have been less than 2,000.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I just remember it was $999, I remember the commercial.
Well, I mean, I had my first new car, I bought it
Okay.
What's that?
So that probably was the lowest price then.
Salad with burgers.
What?
Burgers.
Oh, that's good.
So you overheated the engine, then you were done.
I'll put your words in here. Excuse me.
It's gonna look worse than that when I'm done with it.
There we go. Retirement income. Basically, that money was the most important thing in life. Now that I'm old, I know it is. Last a while. Retirement defined. Retirement isn't merely the financial freedom to do what you want to do after your working years. It's much more. One step to a successful retirement is knowing where your retirement income will come from. Again, when we're looking at retirement income, again, this is where we're going to start talking about buckets of money, sources of income, government-sponsored programs, employer-sponsored plans, personal savings and investment programs. Now we're going to start talking about buckets of money and how those buckets of money can help us. First, let's talk about government-sponsored Social Security. Here's a little quiz. Which nation in what year was the first modern Social Security program implemented? Anyone take a guess?
United States.
Netherlands?
Germany, 1889.
Wow.
Which American Revolutionary War patriot proposed an early plan for old age Social Security?
Ben Franklin.
Thomas Paine. On what date did which of the U.S. following U.S. presidents sign the Social Security Act into law?
FDR.
1935, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. In the original Social Security Act, benefits payments were fixed at the time of retirement, never increased. This is called cost of living. When were the first benefit increases authorized for Social Security recipients? 1950. 1970s was when inflation adjusted for Social Security became law every year. Prior to that, 1950 to 73, 74, in that neighborhood, Congress had to approve Social Security increases. Ida Mae Fuller was the first recipient of monthly benefits starting in 1940. Her benefits did not increase until October of 1950. What were the amounts of her first checks in 1940 and the increase in 1950? I'm not going to make you guess on that. 2254 was the first check, monthly check. Monthly check paid to Ida Mae Fuller. And then in 1950, it went to 4130. I like this part of the class because I like the Social Security part. Ida Mae lived to age 100, 1975. She paid in $28.75 to the Social Security system. And she collected about $25,000. Yeah. So, and which brings up Social Security in a bucket of money, because when Social Security was originally, we'll touch on that, originally enacted, it wasn't supposed to be a retirement income planning tool because of longevity, like it is today. And we'll discuss one of the challenges that presents today. But I'm actually going to go one step further than Ida Mae. Social Security actually was paid out in one annual check from 1937 to 1940. And there was a gentleman, Ernest Ackerman, received the first Social Security check on an annual basis. I need a guess what that check was about. Gentlemen.
How much it was?
Yeah.
For 1 year?
Yep. 1937.
Let's see. 2,000, no.
How much?
That doesn't seem right.
500.
Cheney says 500?
100?
100?
250.
Ken says 250?
360.
360? 17 cents!
No.
Stop.
17 cents, look it up, Ernest Ackerman. I think it was January of 1937, 17 cents.
He made a lot.
First annual check. And then they changed it to monthly, and Ida Mae started to collect. I'd like to give Ernest his due because they always talk about Ida Mae Fuller, but Ernest Ackerman was the first Social Security recipient. Why is that so important? Again, we talk about today because the U.S. population, 65 or older to millions. We talked about take a look, U.S. 40 is projected. 1945, they talk about the amount of workers, 42 to 1 for recipients. In 2040, 2 to 1, 2.1 workers to 1. That's why when you talk about Social Security and the longevity and receiving Social Security, you question, will it ever be there? Is it going to be there? Well, through history, historically, Social Security probably will be there, but you'll have changes. Either further taxation, like we've seen in the 70s, or excuse me, 80s and then 90s, taxation of Social Security, or the stretching out of the age, full retirement age, or removal of COLAs, cost of living increases. So there are challenges because today, there's actually about $35 trillion in excess in the Social Security fund, but they project by 2040, 2035, in that neighborhood, they won't even be able to fund 75% of the benefits. Why? Because so many baby boomers are coming into retirement. There's so many less. Again, we talk about 2 to 1 versus 42 to 1. Pardon me?
Life expectancy starting to drop now.
Not that much. Actually, life expectancy is really, when you say dropping, that is maybe for they project infants today to live to 100, 110. Average monthly Social Security benefit amount for all retired workers. You look at the averages, monthly, annually, maximum, annually. If you're receiving the minimum benefits, or your wage earnings were down, Social Security will fund about 48% of your retirement. If you recall at the very beginning, it was perception and reality. So if you're a wage earner that has been kind of on the lower end of the scale for Social Security purposes, it's going to represent about 48%. If you're a maximum wage earner, Social Security actually can be an addition to your retirement income of about, they estimate about 25%, 24% of your income. It would be if you're a maximum wage earner. So Social Security is really a key component to your retirement because a couple other